Hey guys, I want to do a quick video on DSHOT and Betaflight 3.1. I'm doing a new build. It's the ZMR 210R, and I decided to go with a 4-in-1 ESC and the Omnibus F3 flight controller, and wanted to just sort of share with you guys my difficulties in getting this set up, because right now, as of today, December 21st, 2016, the process is quite convoluted and not that simple. So if you guys are interested in experimenting with DSHOT, maybe this will help you guys out a little bit. I don't know, but at least I'll just go over the things that I went over and things that sort of the trouble that I got into. So anyway, so I'll put links to all of these web pages in the description so you guys can check it out. But this was the this page here was the first page I went to. It's just the DSHOT Betaflight 3.1 wiki page, and it covers all of the sort of what's going on with Betaflight 3.1. And by the way, if you want to do DSHOT, you need Betaflight 3.1. It doesn't work with Betaflight 3.0 or 3.01. So I went to this page and tried to find out where to get the Betaflight hex file for my flight controller. And the flight controller I'm using is this one here, the Omnibus F3. And ultimately, I went back up here to the top, and it's actually on this page here where it says Betaflight 3.1 development code for DSHOT can be found here at this link. And it's actually this page here. And then I went to download the zip file right here. This is build 839 right now. So I downloaded that particular file, which is over here, and I unzipped it and I put it on my desktop over here. And inside there are going to be a bunch of hex files. And then these are the files you need to flash to your flight controller. So I picked the Omnibus hex right here and went into my Betaflight configurator, and you go into the firmware flasher, and then you click load firmware local, and let me find that right here, and then I just loaded that particular file, that hex file, to hit open, and then you get the flash firmware. And I already flashed my flight controller, but the process is the same as flashing in Betaflight 3. There's no difference. So I went and flashed it, and then I ran into some more issues. So let me close this. Okay. So first of all, let me just give you the two things that I'm using. I'm using this 4-in-1 ESC. It's the Racer Star 20 amp version 2. This one has the 5 volt BEC on board, and it does DSHOT 600. And the flight controller I got is this one. It's a clone of the Omnibus F3. It's called the Betaflight F3. And this one, the reason I'm using these two components is because it, for example, the flight controller has the on-screen display. That's I guess it's DMA enabled, so you can use the Betaflight configurator to configure your OSD instead of using the multi-beat protocol. So I'm using this, and the reason I'm using this 4-in-1 ESC is that it comes with this connector right here that connects right over here, and then that will plug directly into the flight controller on the side right here. And the plugs are compatible, and this just sends the 4 motor ESC signal wires directly into the flight controller without doing any soldering. So that's the reason I chose these two components, because they work well together. And on top of that, the 4-in-1 ESC, if you go back to this page, the wiki page, you go all the way down to this section where it says ESC supporting DSHOT. If you look at all these ESCs, you'll notice that a lot of these ESCs will require modification, where you have to remove one of these capacitors. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't want to do any of that stuff, so I went through all these ESCs, and I found that the Racer Star one that I'm interested in will support DSHOT 300 without any modifications. So that's why I also went with SE, particular 4-in-1 ESC for now, because I happen to have it, and I had the flight controller, and everything would work together. And I really want to experiment with DSHOT, and this is sort of the way to go. So if you guys are good at desoldering capacitors off of ESCs, then and you have some of these other ones, and this is the page to check out. They have links to how to do your modifications here, but I'm not going to cover that in this video. Okay, so one of the problems that I ran into is when I went into my Betaflight configurator, and this is the standard one that you get from the Chrome store, and the current version is 1.8.4. When I go to plug in my flight controller and connect to it, which I'll go ahead and do right now, and when I go to the OSD tab, and for the most part everything here was working, or at least it looked like it was working, but when I went to the OSD tab, we get this, basically the screen here in the middle would allow you to do the drag and drops to move your on-screen display components around on the screen, and it wasn't, obviously it's cut off here, it's not working. And I did a little digging and found out that it's due to a bug in this older version of Betaflight Configurator 1.8.4, which doesn't know how to deal with the newer features of Betaflight 3.1. So if you flash to Betaflight 3.1, you can't use 1.8.4 configurator to make any changes. You have to actually get the newest version of the configurator. So I'll show you where to get that. Go ahead and I'll close this. So basically you have to go to the Betaflight GitHub. So this is the link right here, github.com/Betaflight. And you have to go to the section that says Betaflight Configurator. And then you have to download the zip file. So you go over here to this button that says clone or download. Then you hit download zip. And then that'll put a zip file wherever you want to put it on your downloads folder. And then here's the thing, you have to basically load it into your current Chrome, and I didn't want to overwrite my current version of the configurator for my older versions of Betaflight, my older flight controllers. So what I did was I actually installed Chromium Portable, and I'll put a link to where I got this, and this is just like a portable version of Chrome. And then I unzipped the Betaflight configurator zip file into this folder, and then when I launched Chrome Portable, you have to go into where is that? You have to go into More Tools and Extensions, and then you have to click this button here. It says Developer Mode, and then you hit this button here. It says Load Unpacked Extension, and then it'll ask you, well, where did you unpack it? And so I put it in this folder here. So you have to tell it where you put that particular folder, point it there, and then it'll load the Betaflight configurator 1.8.5, that's the version that is currently available right now, into this particular Chrome. This is a different sort of instance of Chrome. So I'm running this Chrome Portable along with the actual Chrome in the background here. Okay, so then once you've loaded it into your Chrome or into your Chrome Portable, depending on what you want to do, hit the launch link here, and then you get the new Betaflight configurator 1.8.5, and then now you can connect to your flight controller, and then here in the OSD tab, the OSD is now currently working. So then you can select your elements and move your elements around on this preview screen, whereas you couldn't do that before. And that's pretty much it. So I'm basically just made this video, so it's going to be for reference for my build video that I'm going to be posting later for people that are going to be doing the same build as me on the ZMR 210R. But these links will get you going if you decide to use different components, different flight controllers and such. So you just go to these particular pages. I'll put links to all of these in the description below, and that should get you started. It's a real pain in the behind right now to get all of this working, because it's in development. It's not really ready yet. It's not really released, but it's sort of the price you have to pay if you want to experiment. And I hope that this helps you guys out in terms of figuring out how to get it going. So hope it helps, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.